What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 47, your weekly podcast for nerdy news and opinions coming at you each and every Monday at noon Eastern. I am Kevin McManus. With me, Kellen Williard.
Hola.
And Nick Hassell.
Hello.
Today, we're doing something a little bit different. We're just talking the Wii U and our top 10 games for the Wii U.
And while y'all do that, I'll play Pokemon.
Jeez, not this again. The Wii U has officially ceased production. I assume that this list is pretty much cemented minus Zelda coming out. I don't think anything else will ever knock something like this off.
Probably not.
Off the list, so it's pretty much done.
And even if it does come out, it's probably going to have shit controls like Star Fox and not be good.
That's also true.
I was so excited for that game.
So the way we're going to do this is
terrible.
We made top 10 lists. We're going to start with our 10, 9, 8. We're going to go around, talk about the game, but, maybe why we have it on the list, etc. And then you get points depending on what rank you are. If you're the 10th game, you get 1. If you're 9, you get 2. If you're the number 1 slot, you get 10 points. We'll add the points up. We'll break some tiebreakers. We'll get a top 10 list. Mm-hmm. And I want to make it clear, this is best games, quote unquote. So not our favorite. Not, these are games that you should purchase if you own a Wii U.
I guess in some degrees you haven't played or may not have had the controller in your hand and played, maybe watch someone else or stream or blah, blah, blah.
But these are probably, if you're going to purchase the Wii U, these are safe bets. I think that's a good way to put it. These are safe bets. I guess I'll start off. We'll just keep going.
Do you want to
around.
say what was restricted and what counts?
I guess
count?
So the way I don't know what you actually settled on because I think
abided by
your
rules. Yeah, I changed mine to fit the rules because, like I said,
I forgot what you said, so I just did whatever.
Stay consistent across the board for
great. So all three of us have different list styles. So the way I was thinking about doing it, and if we need to make an audible quick, we can.
I think almost everyone mine's exclusive actually.
We were gonna do something that released on the console this generation originally.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think I did that anyway. So yeah.
Okay. Originally, so no ports, no emulator games that you can buy, and no HD remasters.
Correct.
Okay. I need to change.
Hey, I'm pretty good at guessing at rules.
Yeah, like I said, I adjusted mine to match that.
I already know what to change it to.
So I know going forward with other systems, it's going to be a much bigger deal than it is with Wii U.
Wii U.
I already changed it.
It was fast.
Yeah, we're good. That all came out this generation. Stop looking at my list.
I already looked through some of Nick's.
Okay, so I'll start off with these bottom ones are kind of throwaways. They're probably not gonna make it, but so I wanted to put one on the list, and my number 10 is Fatal Frame: Maiden of Blackwater. I think if you like horror games, this is your literal only horror game that you can buy on the console. It's a good horror game. I wouldn't say it is excellent, but it is a good horror game, and it does something that everybody was hoping the Wii U would do from the start when they announced, hey, it's a tablet that you can interact with. Everybody was like, make it a camera for Fatal Frame and Pokemon Snap. Yeah. And they did one of those things. So
one of those
cool.
things happened.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think they hurt themselves a lot not doing a physical release and not translating the game. They left the Japanese voices, which a lot of people were not happy with. But overall, I think it's worthy of a top 10 on this console. That it's hard to make a top 10 for it. I mean,
it's easy to make a top 7 or 8.
Yeah,
then you get into
top 5 was
that's how I thought. I did like 7 pretty quickly, and then I was like,
But even though this should be the easiest one, it's technically the hardest one because you have to struggle to pull a few out.
Yeah.
When it gets to PS4, there's like a solid 6 or 7 that you have to have on the list, and just rank is going to vary.
4 of them are Uncharted. Number 10, just because I like the game. It's not great. It's whatever. Mario Party 10. Because Mario Party, if you're going to get a Wii or anything Nintendo, you probably get a Mario Party.
You probably get it, honestly, for party games. It's your party console, typically.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what it's for. It's fine. They added some weird stuff to this one, but it's still fine. There's mini games you can make on your own that are really good for this game. Like where you drink when you get mini stars. What a terrible idea. Oh, Lord. That went well.
Yeah, as far as this iteration of Mario Party goes, I think I've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 9, and 8. I've played a lot of the Mario Parties. I like the Mario Parties.
Yeah, I've played the last several.
This one falls somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's
for
fine.
Me. I really liked I think that this one had the ability to be in the top 3 because they have the gamepad, and you could do that 1 versus 3
You could
thing.
do some neat stuff with the gamepad.
And they didn't really do that. They sort of did with the Bowser mode, but I wish like all the 1 versus 3 minigames, the one used the gamepad, and the gamepad was more a pass around thing. And it didn't end up being that way.
I just wish they had the classic version built into the game. Like, that's fine if you want to have the Bowser mode. Yeah, I would jump to it like 1 out of every 10 games just to have something new
just
and
something different.
You need
Maybe
5 people
maybe
too.
balance it a little better. But yeah, have the classic. Don't force me to play
The
some
classic
new
game board.
new innovative mode. Like, let me keep the
board
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the board game was based on.
They had the amiibo mode where everybody moved separately, and the problem with that was you had to tap your amiibo every time you wanted to roll. You couldn't just be like, all right, my amiibo's in, and then play the game normally. And
Pass the controller and then tap it. And then pass the controller
It's so
and then tap it.
Yeah, you only get 1 gamepad.
So yeah, definitely deserving of a 10 spot.
Yeah, that's
just all it was
That's
getting.
basically what I call the Nintendo problem, is when they go innovative, that's cool. When they go over innovative, and then you get forced into
It's
that.
called gimmick. Yeah.
They kick out the thing they've made the other 9
Star
games
Fox.
on.
Which is why it's not going to be on this list.
No.
When they go overboard, it sucks because they force you into it, and you can't do the thing that made the
Well, yeah.
made the original game or series
The first 9 or whatever.
fun. My number 10, Super Mario Maker. Has to be on the list. I didn't play it. I've watched plenty of people play it. I've watched all the clips of like the craziest levels that you can't beat, blah, blah, blah. I've seen you guys play it. I think I made a part of a level or something like that.
I made a level once.
It has to be on the list.
It was brilliant.
It's a cool idea. Yeah, that's about it.
I enjoy Mario Maker, not to the degree that, like, this is, a lot of people love Mario Maker. They're like, this is a system seller. To me, I was like, it's a Mario game with levels that are designed by Satan.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the best game that ever.
It's extremely entertaining,
It's
though.
weird
Yeah.
because you're sucked into it, you're making 20 levels, whatever, or you're kind of indifferent. Oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's neat.
The way I had it was I played it and I made like 5 or 6 levels, and I had a lot of fun doing that. I never really played other people's levels because that wasn't fun for me. I liked making labyrinths and things that no one ever played, and then I don't want to play other people's labyrinths. That doesn't sound fun. So like I was at this weird thing where it was a fun tool but like not a great game, and that's kind of how I ended up with the thing. I was like, well, if I'm gonna play a Mario game, I'd like the game created by the professionals that actually get paid.
Was a cool idea. And there's
game.
plenty of people who stream and or make YouTube videos of, I'm going to find the
Great
hardest
streaming
level
game,
and
Yeah,
you're going to see
really
my
good for that.
frustration as I grind out this level, eventually beat it. Like that's cool. I'm glad there's people like that because that's not me.
Right.
No, that ain't me.
And I do want to say the tools for it were fantastic.
Yeah.
Like how simple it was to. It was so like very surprisingly simple to make a level.
very
and
easy to use.
I'm shocked they didn't like Little Big Planet's a nightmare to learn.
Yeah.
And this game, you can pick it up, give it to anyone, and they're able to make a level. Another problem that I had with it though was like the party system. I want this to be a party game, and it takes so long to make a level that you can't be like, all right, you make a level, you make a level, you make a level, we'll all play it because like 9 hours will have passed if you want to do it
well,
that
it's
way.
Tuesday. Let's
Yeah,
see
they
what
maybe
we're
should have had like for that maybe had templates or something like that, like a pre-built one that you can just mess with.
do a little
10,
editing.
15, 20 things and go from there.
But Mario Maker. My number 9, Audible, Severed. Really like Severed. I played it on the Vita, but it would be right at home on the Wii U as well because you got that nice touch screen. No, nice touch screen. You got a touch screen to play the game, as opposed to other consoles where it literally, it can't really come out for them. You need that screen to play the game. It's all about slashing enemies when they expose certain points, and you're literally slashing on the screen to do it. It's one of those things that sounds super gimmicky, and you play it, it's just so well done that it's not gimmicky at all. It's a first-person dungeon crawler with Zelda-esque puzzles and things like that to it. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I 100%ed everything in the game, and it's made by Drinkbox Studios, who made Guacamelee. Like, they're a really good studio, and this game is very at home on the Wii U.
Okay. Where are we at, number 9?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll go Mario Kart 8 at number 9. More Mario Kart. Fine game. I wasn't a whole big fan of the driving up the walls and all that stuff. It kind of threw me off a little.
Man, it's almost like everything on this console is a gimmick, too.
Yeah, that's kind of what they do.
Yeah, I know.
Other than that, it was a fine Mario Kart.
I will say that this Mario Kart's probably got my favorite tracks of any Mario
Minus the wall
Kart
driving.
game. I mean, yeah, aside from features and, gimmicky maybe stuff, but I mean, the Zelda level, the F-Zero level, the Excite Bike, I think.
Yeah,
was
that
the
level was
Yeah, the
sweet.
F-Zero
Like,
level.
I will say, the things you just mentioned, this game had great DLC.
Yeah.
The DLC for this game was actually just awesome.
Even the random Mercedes that you get to drive
Yeah.
around.
Like
That
just
was the
playing
most
as
odd
Link. It's
thing.
like this is real out of place,
Yeah.
but it was good DLC and it was well priced,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
This isn't my favorite Mario Kart is actually the Wii Mario Kart with the
I mean, that's fair.
I had a lot of fun with that. That one
steering
has
wheel was a blast.
my favorite levels, and that was one where the game wasn't really about winning because it was so cheap. The Wii Mario Kart was so cheap. You were just going to get destroyed by anything if you were in first place. So I liked that aspect of it. I liked that it felt random. This one, I feel like went the complete opposite direction. They added back the coins that make you go faster.
Yeah.
They added a whole bunch of shortcuts. So like if you play this game a lot, you're never going to lose to somebody who's new.
Just picked it
Whereas
up,
the Wii Mario Kart you could, and that's my kind of critique
Yeah,
of it.
Wii Mario Kart was more like race to the finish sort of thing. Because if you're in first on lap 1, you're probably 8th on lap 2, but
Yeah.
fighting to get back in third or
Right.
second.
On your way back
on the
with your
third lap.
bullet.
Yeah,
and blue
this one
shell.
I feel like you can really just pull ahead and no one's gonna
Yeah.
touch
Yeah.
you.
And a
Especially
lot of
with the
people
coin
do.
things you memorize and
You-
the drifting. It's forced
Yeah.
drifting.
You hit 10 coins.
Which,
You're
if you get good at drifting, you're just gonna be way better. Like everybody that plays it for the first time, it's
Even-
like I don't know what's happening.
even,
right now.
are we doing?
even the vehicles aren't well balanced. I think the bikes just kind of like far and away just blow out a lot of the carts.
They're
Yeah,
just faster,
unless
yeah?
you
Yeah.
want to do like an off-road shortcut. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, that's fair.
Are we back to me already?
Where's Nick at?
No, this is number 9. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
third. Number 9, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. Not too much to say. It's a Lego Star Wars game. This one had a lot of humor in it, just like the other ones. And I don't know. It kind of rode off the success, obviously, of The Force Awakens. But it was a good adaptation. Saw a lot of it getting played. Same old features.
One of the best Star Wars games for sure.
but yeah.
Or not Star Wars game. Well, yeah, but one of the best Lego
Yeah.
games for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's touted as, is one of the best ones. So, yeah, I mean, they didn't really change up the formula too much, which is a
Right.
good thing.
I was a little upset when this game came out because I was like, this seems like a cash grab.
Yeah.
They did 1, 2, 3, then they did 4, 5, 6, and then they did 7. And I'm like, well, now we're going to get 8 and then 9 and then get the pack.
Yeah.
But they really they have like every character ever in
Yeah,
Star Wars.
yeah.
And they really made it feel like it was worth its
Mhm.
own release, which was good. I like the Lego games a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun.
And I mean, they're right at home on a Nintendo console. Like
Yeah.
you said, it's kind of a party thing. This is more of like a couch co-op sort of thing for the most part, but still fits, still works, and
Still counts.
Still going strong.
So we're on number 8.
8. Yeah.
Tokyo Mirage Sharp FE.
Good God.
I really liked this game. It wasn't as I'll go into my complaint about it since I know you really, really like it. It wasn't as deep as I think I would have liked it. The story wasn't good, really. It was fun, but it wasn't good. Yeah, and overall, the worst thing for me about it was probably, or disappointing, not worst, was probably the characters. They were super generic, tropey, and they never really broke that mold, which is something that I like from Persona, is they do start out really tropey, and then you know, they break that. And in this game, I never really felt like they broke that, except for maybe the main character, who's not really you of the game. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I definitely think if you like that style game, you will like it, but I'm not 100% sure if you don't like that style game, you'll like it, especially because it's so, like, the topic is the pop idols and everything.
Yeah.
Well, they're obviously not going to do advertising to pull anyone in.
Right. Yeah, so it's kind of like one of
Who's
those
on
like
the fence?
tread carefully type things. But you can go ahead and enlighten us all about your Tokyo
I mean,
Mirage.
I won't be talking about Tokyo Mirage for a while on this list.
You wanna
so,
wait?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
yeah.
wait.
That's fun.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, choosing a top 6 or 7 for this list is super easy. So you can just, I mean, if I say Splatoon here and yours is number 1, or whatever, we'll get to that. But I'd say just go ahead and say your piece about it, and then at the end,
That's fine.
when we start seeing the totals and whatever rack up.
We're at number 8 still.
Mm-hmm.
Hyrule Warrior. Didn't play this game because it's not really my style of game. I know several people that freaking love this game. It was neat to watch, even though it's not really my style to play. I actually did like watching it quite a bit, and it was very popular for a reason. It wasn't for me though, but I know a lot of people that liked it. 'Cause you played quite a bit of it, didn't you?
I did. I really like Hyrule Warriors. Actually, it was my first introduction into the Warriors series.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think combining it with Zelda was genius. Because I've said
That's a
before,
good
I love the
fit.
Zelda world. I don't really like Zelda's games, like the Zelda games. I didn't know anything about the Warriors thing, so it was cool to meld a world that I liked with gameplay that I like more than Zelda.
Well, you can keep talking because that's my number 8 as well.
Okay.
Same thing.
Brilliant.
I respect the Zelda franchise. I like the characters for the most part.
Just not for me.
Just some of the games are just like, okay, come on. Like, I don't know. I know there's a nostalgia bit to everything in that time period, but I'm over it. I can get over it real fast. Am excited somewhat for the new one, and I like most of. I know we can't include HD remasters, but the 2 games that are on there, Twilight Princess.
I actually really like
Wind
Twilight
Waker.
Princess. I don't like
Wind
Wind
Waker
Waker.
is beautiful.
Wind Waker
Those-
is beautiful. I don't like that game very
Those
much.
games are sweet
Fair enough.
by, as far as I'm concerned. But some of the old ones, the Majora's Mask, okay, it's cool. Ocarina of Time, okay, cool.
Ocarina of Time.
We just got
Ocarina.
so many dislikes.
But yeah, Hyrule Warriors blended 2 systems and very well. Dynasty and Zelda characters. What's not to like?
Yeah, number 7, Hyrule Warriors. Yeah,
Brilliant.
As we've said, and
Yeah.
then the way that they made it replayable with all the different characters, everyone kind of levels up on their own, but you earn this extra currency that you can dump into another character, which was really nice for multiplayer. One person plays on the tablet, one person plays on your screen, multiplayer. I would just dump the extra stuff that I got into characters that I knew my friends liked playing as. I really, really actually enjoyed this game so much more than I feel like I should have. And it's got super replayability in that you unlock new weapon. There's a billion weapons for every character. There's a billion characters.
Billion? Yeah, there is a lot of
those
characters.
games can go on forever. And those are becoming my favorite types of games, or some of my favorite types of games, is taking 2 tried and true systems, whether it's characters from this and gameplay system of that, merging it together and making something cool out of it.
Yeah.
That's just...
This is an example of that working beautifully.
Very well, yeah. Bayonetta 2. I haven't played this game yet because I haven't finished the first one, which I need to do. It plays a lot like the first one, correct?
Yeah.
Well, then it has excellent
It plays much better.
much better.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it plays better than the first one. Has excellent combat.
Yes.
Great gameplay. And her story's kind of goofy from what I know of it, but good enough. But yeah, just the controls and the combat in that game are fantastic.
Yeah, it's not really about the story.
No,
in
it's about
that
the
particular game. It's about the amazing fluid combat.
About the fantastic combat. And her shooting the crap out of stuff.
Out God of War, which
Yeah.
is
Impressive.
yeah.
Those games are a blast. I need to get to number 2 eventually.
My number 7, Mario Kart 8. I was kind of already saying some of this during Kellen's bit, but favorite tracks of any Mario Kart game, including the DLC. You have to include that.
Yeah.
Vehicles, very much unbalanced, drives me nuts because, I mean, I don't know, like you have 20 different vehicle types and different options you can throw it on each one, but it gets into competitive mode where...
Like the gliders and stuff.
Yeah, it gets into competitive mode where you have to pick between 2 or 3 vehicles. You have to take this specific shortcut. You have to hop the entire track, drift perfectly. Like, if I'm going to do all that, I want to play Gran Turismo or Forza. Like, if it's going to get into technical racing, I don't want it to be goofy, haha, red shells.
I don't want to be Yoshi. It's the only time I don't want to be Yoshi.
So, yeah. I'd say it's top 5 Mario Karts. I mean, there's only 8 to choose from. I'd say it's definitely top 5, maybe 3rd or 4th best one.
I think it's really high up there, for sure.
The tracks make it. The tracks is what makes the game for me, for the most part. Cool system, a lot of cool characters too. But yeah, doesn't beat Wii Mario Kart. May or may not beat Game Boy Advance Mario Kart. Definitely doesn't beat N64 Mario Kart.
I really like the DS Mario Kart.
The handheld Mario Karts are very good.
That may be the one I played most was the DS
The
Mario
handheld
Kart.
ones are great.
Then N64.
But it's good. Worthy of number 7.
Negative.
which leads into number 6. Mario Maker is where I have number 6 at. Like I said, I think it's an amazing creation tool if that's what you're into. It's great gameplay, and the level design is whatever
like
the level design
is up
is.
to you.
Yeah.
It's not like most games where either you love it or hate it. It's either you love it or you're kind of just like, oh, okay, that's cool. The sort of indifference, or just like, okay, I understand.
Yeah, I don't see how anybody could be like, man, this game seems terrible. It's like, and not really.
No,
you know,
there's no
it's,
way.
It's a good game. The palette swapping that they implemented, they went so far. Like, they could have made Mario 1 Mario Maker, and then made Mario 3 Mario Maker, and then made Mario Advance or Mario World Mario Maker. Like, they could have done that, but they put all those packages together. They made new sprites for the game for things that didn't exist in the other games. They made like 8-bit sprites of things from the 16-bit era and the fully 3D era. I think that was really awesome. And then part of the reason that I didn't like playing a lot of them was that I don't play the 3D Mario, it's like side-scrolling Marios. So like I'd get into worlds and I was like, oh, I didn't know you could triple jump in the 3D ones. Like that's not something that registered to me that you can do that. So yeah, high up on the list, but definitely not as high as most people or most lists that I've seen have put
Most lists,
Yeah.
I would agree, because that's kind of in the number 1 to 3 range for a lot of lists.
Yeah, it's number 1 on a lot of things.
We'll go Pokken Tournament.
I don't even want to write this.
Well, you have to.
I know.
You had problems with it, but that's your own fault.
He's played it almost as much as us.
I don't know. We've played quite a bit of it.
Well, yeah, we played single player, so.
A lot of the single player. Yeah, it's just a Pokemon fighting game. The 2 different modes, the like behind the shoulder and then the side, kind of odd. But once you get used to it, actually, I really liked it. I like that you have different move sets and whatnot, which that's the only way to get all the, or not even all, but more of the Pokemon moves into a fighting game is you got to have variations like that. I actually quite like the game. It's a little different, but it's kind of what I expected.
Not the DLC I expected.
I
thought for sure they were gonna milk that game.
I thought it'd be raining DLC, and I hadn't done much.
You
at
got
all.
a Mewtwo amiibo card thing, and like that's it.
Hadn't been much at all. It's kind of surprising.
That's what's weird when you go arcade first and then console second, is raining in the DLC and stuff like that.
Tekken 7 is doing that too. It's out in arcades, but
it's been out in arcades for a little while.
We still don't have it for consoles.
The game's still fun though. I like it quite a bit. There's a reason I bought a Wii U, so
that's true.
Number 6.
Yeah.
Bayonetta 2.
Hey.
That's in addition to what's been said. I mean, it's pretty nonstop. Like you said, it kind of out God of War.
Yeah.
It's
not
just,
in story, but in gampplay.
In gameplay, yeah.
I mean, that's the good part about the story, though, is that it doesn't take itself seriously, and it obviously flaunts certain aspects of the game that deserve to be flaunted. And it's a cool character, cool concept. Even though she's kind of like dominatrix-y, but maybe that's good or bad depending on your viewpoint. Really cool character. She eventually made it into a game that we're going to be talking about here shortly, I would imagine. Cool franchise.
And they only put amazing characters in there. And then Sonic.
Really cool franchise. I like it.
And then terrible characters that make leaf shields and whatever.
I hate you. Number 5, Mario Kart. I think that this is probably the 3rd best Mario Kart. When you said that, I was trying to rank it. I said that my complaint with it is the casual appeal, that it's hard to get into and play. That doesn't mean I didn't like it for its hardcore aspects. I played the game, unlocked all the courses, unlocked all the characters. I had a blast playing it by myself, even though I think of Mario Kart as this multiplayer.
I don't think I've ever played a Mario Kart by myself as much as this one. So yeah, that's a weird way of looking at it.
I played the Wii one by myself a whole lot because. Because I wanted to unlock everybody.
Yeah.
Same reason as this, but it feels real good to it. Like, playing single player by yourself on the Wii one is not very fun because of the unfair things I was talking about. And when a computer does unfair things to you, you're just like, this is rigged. This is cheap. Yeah. When your friends do it, it's like, oh, it's a fun party time.
I hate him anyways. It's fine.
But in this, it felt like you earned all of your wins that you got. So yeah, Mario Kart 8.
Oh, my phone turned off. Just did that. Okay. Smash Bros. Wii U. More Smash Brothers. Not my favorite Smash Brothers. A very good one though. I like the 8-player business. That was fun. Just chaotic. It's
a lot of new modes. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of new stuff, which is fine, but not my favorite Smash Brothers. It's a very good one though. Smash Brothers, whatever. If they didn't put Mega Man in the game, probably number 1, but other than that.
God, I hate you. I'm revoking all your points.
That is kind of something. I mean, I guess I'll bring it up whenever I get to mine, but there's a lot of characters.
I think it's fantastic.
There's a lot of stuff in the game.
It's definitely a good thing, but it can be, sort of
it is
mixed.
Fantastic.
I'm fine with that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting to talk about it, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Number 5, I'll go ahead and jump in on it and let you guys talk about it in about 10 minutes. Splatoon. I didn't play it personally too much. I know I've always been around people playing it. I know it deserves every bit of credit it gets, blah, blah, blah. The thing I like about it most, and basically my top 5 on each one of these games is, most of these games are, it does something different that a normal Nintendo game doesn't do. So this one's obviously competitive multiplayer.
Yes.
Xbox for the longest time was touted as the multiplayer shooter console. PS4 is taking a little bit of that away from them now. But this game, I mean, obviously you're not going to get the Call of Duty audience on Splatoon,
right,
for the most part. You're not going to take sales away from Battlefield or anything like that. But really cool concept. Did it in a Nintendo way. Squid people, paintball guns.
Very smart way of
really
being
well
like,
done.
we're going to make a shooter with ink, and when they die, they explode into ink.
Ink rollers.
Yeah. So kid-friendly, but really addictive.
Yes.
So 2 hallmarks of Nintendo.
True story.
Yeah, they just did it in a really smart way, and I think there's a single-player story aspect too.
There's like a 5-6 hour story.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Super Mario Galaxy. It's
Yeah.
like platforming with platforms that are just kind of in space.
Kind of out there.
I think that they could, and I hope they make a sequel. They could make a full, not open world, but branching paths game with it. And it would be awesome. Like
I said, a lot of these next games
great.
for me, I'm going to repeat the same thing over and over, but it does something that the system needs in the market that it has to compete with Xbox and PS4, but it does it in the Nintendo way. So it gets high marks for me for doing that and succeeding in it.
My next one is, which is what, number 4?
Number 4.
Bayonetta 2. I really liked Bayonetta 2. I didn't really know how to feel going into it. I played it without playing the first one first, so I kind of did it backwards.
Yeah.
But it was phenomenal, just gameplay-wise, mechanic. It felt good. They have a dodge button, and if you hit it at the perfect time, everything slows down, and you just get to wail on the opponent, and it feels so good.
Beat the hell out of people.
Yeah, it feels so good when you're able to dodge every single attack in a boss fight or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's one of those pat yourself on the back sort of things. I just did that. Sort of
you feel so
it's very
awesome
satisfying.
Yeah.
And you're summoning huge, weird hair contraptions to engulf things. And there's instant kills that you do enough kills and you unlock an instant kill that you can use on an enemy. So you can start chaining a combo and then a really strong enemy spawns and you just instant kill him and you keep going on the grunts. It's just fantastic. The story is where it doesn't shine, and that's where God of War definitely ups it. The story and probably boss fights, God of War's got it. But as far as pure gameplay and replayability, you unlock tons of weapons, you unlock tons of different forms that you can use, and gosh, that game is just real good, and it was really pretty too.
Yeah,
it's a very I want to say that about most of these games. The Wii U, for being the underpowered console, puts out some really pretty games.
Well, yeah, and they make their graphics work the way
they're tailored to the Wii U.
That Donkey Kong fur in Mario Kart, though.
That Donkey Kong fur. It's a weird statement. Xenoblade Chronicles X.
I didn't think anyone was going to mention that game.
I love that game. I need to play more of it. Because I got a bunch of Wii U games at the same time when I bought the console. I put a couple hours into it and really need to go back to it. That game is a fucking blast to play. And it's quite different from stuff I usually play. It's a lot of fun, though. I need to get more into that game. It's a lot of fun, though. It's something Nick's probably going to say that the Wii U kind of needed something different, and they did it well. I actually like the game a lot.
Number 4?
Yeah.
Pokken Tournament. Really, 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 really enjoy the old Pokemon Arena games. Glad that this is at least sort of like it. It's cool in the fact that there's a cool single-player story. It's kind of based around the system of you're in leagues, and you start out at the bottom of the league, you fight people to get to the top, fight the guy at the top, advanced league, blah, blah, blah. But then they start tying in a story with like, hey, the world's doing some crazy stuff, and it builds and builds and builds, and you have some pretty epic fights towards the end. So that's cool that it has a single player, which most fighting games, especially this year, don't really launch with single player aspects to them. But that was cool. And then they took it in a Nintendo direction with the style of the game, which, like Kellen mentioned, there's the over-the-shoulder and then there's the side-to-side. That's cool. At first, I was a little wishy-washy on it. Then I started playing it and was completely sold on it.
Yeah, once you figure out that you can knock
once you learn the transitions and stuff, it's a lot easier.
Phased combat is a really unique way of playing these types of games because, someone can be just trashing you in the side-to-side, but when you get that one hit or the counter or whatever, because the game is very...
you just use the chandelier.
Yeah, and just
it's in the
spam. The game itself, literally, in describing some of the aspects of the game, literally calls it a rock, paper, scissors. So I like that a lot. Yeah. It's instantaneous rock, paper, scissors. So it's not just I win sort of thing. You do one thing and win. It's constant. Okay, I won this. Okay, well, you just won that. You just won that. So the phase combat's really cool because, like I said, you can get trashed for the most part, but you get your super basically, and you just go off on someone, health bar, see ya.
I also really like the supports.
Yeah,
I thought that.
Yeah, they were neat.
I thought they were done really well.
There's a lot of options in the game. So
and another thing that I want to give a huge shout out to in this game because I think it's awesome is the competitive mode.
Yeah,
where you type in the weird. I don't know how you do it.
Basically,
you wish upon a star and you unlock the mode that has everything. Everything's even.
Everything's unlocked. Everything's even.
I just call it
no
land
levels.
mode. Yeah, you go to the main menu, you hit a button combination, and it takes you to land mode where everything's unlocked. Like you said, everything's set up, ready to go, and it's already system-to-system link. You're good.
You just play.
I like that it's a separate menu, too. Even though it's a weird button combination, you have to
hidden
figure
away.
out. But yeah, as far as people who play in tournaments and stuff like that, awesome. And the tournament aspect is another part I like. I'm glad that they didn't go the route of something like Smash where they always say we don't make Smash for competitive tournaments. They make Smash for competitive tournaments. I'm sorry. Ever since Melee, where they kind of, we made it for competitive people, they've been doing it for competitive. I'm glad it's sort of in the middle. A lot of people who play, like a lot of FGC people who play competitive Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat / Injustice, whatever, they usually have this as sort of a backup game.
Yeah.
Hey,
secondary game.
I just lost out of this tournament. Side game. Let's go play this. That's kind of what the anime games, so like Persona, and things like that, kind of gets sectioned off to side games. And this is one of the biggest ones. Because it takes some of your favorite people. The character choices were pretty good, even though it was like 16. Really, I think that was probably the downfall of the game.
Yeah, that's the Smash thing. It's like, wow, there's a lot of characters. You load up the Pokken, and you're just like
700 choices, and they went with these.
Especially if you haven't played a lot of the games, like if you only know the ones from your childhood, and then you jump in.
You're like, oh, Pikachu or Pikachu with a mask? Cool.
Where's Snorlax?
This is a game, I'm glad that they put it out, but if they want to do another one, which I hope they do, it really needs to have 30 plus. As you can probably tell from the Pokemon
Scizor.
Sun and Moon
I have
games
caught
that
more
we're
Pokemon
playing.
in my first hour playing Sun and Moon than are in
As you can
that
tell
game.
in Sun and Moon, if you see them pop up, their national dex number or their total number is like 730, 740. So to only put 16 out of that many, it's rough. But for what it is, I really enjoyed it.
The mechanics are there. It just needs more.
Yeah.
More.
They really don't need to touch anything with the mechanics. I like the phase combat. It makes it stand out.
I like it.
So.
Number 3, we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
Smash Brothers I think you have to have Smash anywhere on a top 10 list, and it's probably going to be in your top 5 at the end of the day. It's just such a good game and it's the ultimate crossover. We talk about doing a crossover really well. What if you take 15, 20 different things and you all put it into a game and you make it work? Then you cross over making these levels that all fit. Like they took Bayonetta, who should not fit into that game, and Cloud, who doesn't belong in the game at all.
Shouldn't be there
and they fit in the game. And in this one in particular, it felt like every character was so unique, from Shulk's like weird sword changing ability where he has different
Minato arts.
Yeah. And
even
Lucario's
the bad characters
got
like Mega Man and stuff,
Lucario's got like the aura ability. Like they all have a little. Bayonetta is just busted. They all have different, like they all play differently. Or you can play it as that party game. This got the best of both worlds. If you want to just play the party game and hit the little stick on the GameCube controller and smash people off the map, you can do that.
It's completely.
They also let us use the GameCube controller, which was huge.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine playing Smash without that controller.
It wouldn't be what it is if you couldn't play this.
Yeah, it would be a
GameCube
completely inferior game if you could not use that GameCube controller.
That's fair.
And they also, as much as you guys like to, joke about it, they got Mega Man in the game, they got Sonic in the game, they got Cloud, they got Bayonetta. Like, these characters that are just, their rights are all over the place.
Yeah.
And so many people want to be in Smash. They did that voting ballot to have people in. Like, it's just crazy that they're able to pull all those things together and get everybody to agree. And there's amiibos of them now. And
how many did they
all
end up with? Like 48 characters, like somewhere in the 40s, maybe 50.
I think there's. I want to say 52.
After DLC,
I want to say it's
52.
52.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's so many.
And then if you
characters.
start including like Robin and Girl Robin and you know, like it's just a bunch of characters.
Yeah.
And Lucina and Marth, who are actually different characters. One of them is terrible and one of them's okay.
Super Mario Maker. Not really for me because I'm not a huge platformer guy, but something about this game, I like watching people make the levels and whatnot and run through them. It's just very entertaining. And I would think if you were a Mario person, this is probably one of your favorite Mario games just ever.
It's every Mario game ever.
Yeah,
you can do almost whatever you want.
It's all right there. If you don't want to build levels, you just go download them. If you want to build levels, you have every tool imaginable to build them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like the complete Mario package.
Yeah, it's almost like, I mean, I want Nintendo to, obviously, because Nintendo does it best. But you technically don't need another Mario game ever.
Well,
I think the
really
only thing this game
that.
was missing was being able to make your own world. Be like, these 8 levels
lay out a world,
linked together. You have to go through all 8, and then you beat it.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that it's missing. Because I think if they did that, people would make, all right, well, this first one's going to be easy and teach you something.
Yeah,
and the second one's going to be hard, but use that mechanic. And then the next one's going to teach you something new, and then hard to use that mechanic. And then the last level's going to use all 4 of the mechanics
You're
I
gonna need to
added,
mix 'em.
and it's going to be difficult. Like, that would have been neat.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I mean, that game's it's a good game.
It has everything, pretty much.
Number 3, Xenoblade Chronicles X. This is one of those where there's another game on this list where it's not going to get advertised quite the way it should be, and like another game on this list, it is something that almost doesn't belong on this console.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's an open world sandbox game, but it's
pretty close. It's about as close as you can get.
And this, for people watching, this is not the one with Shulk in it.
Right.
That's just
Correct.
Xenoblade.
That's the Wii one and the 3DS.
That's the one. It did get ported over. Wait,
Yeah.
no, just Wii, right? Or did
No,
it
it's
get
on the
ported?
Wii and it's on the new 3DS.
Yes, that one.
The new.
Really good. It's so pretty. This is one of those I can't believe it's on the Wii U. It's really
I can't
pretty.
believe it's not better.
I'll be damned.
But yeah, like in addition to what it's just really awesome. It's epic in scale, and it just
plays really well. Like, it plays with that scale really well. Like,
Yeah.
it's just well done. I need to go play more.
really awesome game. It takes a long time.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
It is a long game.
That's why it doesn't belong on the system. It takes a long time to 100% or even come close to finishing like another
and that
game.
main city's sweet. I like it a lot.
Yeah. And music's still good.
Yeah.
Music's kind of underappreciated from the other Xenoblade game. Music's really good in this game too.
We need you to go to this area. It's like, that's 6 hours away.
Literally.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Number two. Splatoon. I adore Splatoon. It was a game that I completely didn't think I would like. I remember the E3 stuff. I'm like, why are they spending time on this game? No one cares about this game. It's so stupid. And then I'll never forget, they did a free like hour of the game that you had to be up at like 7 o'clock in the morning if you wanted to join in and play. And
Japanese time,
yeah.
Tokyo time.
And I got up and I was like, I guess I'm going to play Splatoon. And I played it and I was like, that was pretty fun. And I didn't think too much of it. The game came out, a week passed, and I'm like, man, I just really want to play that game with the ink and the squids and the kids. I want to play that game. So I went and I bought it, and I played probably more hours of that than any game I've played time-wise in the past, like, 3 years. Every time a video was like, it would get to the point where I'd edit my videos and hit render, and then they'd finish rendering, and I'm, like, still playing Splatoon. I'm like, I can't stop. I think it's so smart with how it did its weapon system. They added things to the game constantly. Every week, you got a new map, you got a new gun, you got a new outfit. Like,
yeah, I mean,
they added so much
for online,
for free, all free.
Yeah, online competitive games. That's what makes or breaks games is support.
They just kept people coming back to it. They did the weekend
weekend events or whatever you want to call them.
Splatfest, yeah. Where they gave you two choices of licensed products and different things, and you fought on that team. So they'd be like Decepticons or Autobots. You picked a team, you got a T-shirt for your team, and then you fought on that team.
They did
and
Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue.
Yeah, and you gain points for that team if you win, and you start losing points for your team if you lose. And at the end of the weekend, when you logged in on Monday or whenever it was, they told you what team won. It was just really, really well done. I can't believe that simplistic idea, simple game, and like it started off a little bit shallow because I think there was only like 5 maps or something to start, and now there's like 10 or 11. They have a whole community. They have the Squid Sisters that was the final Splatfest, and they're real big in Japan.
Callie and Marie or whatever.
Calamari. I just Splatoon's fantastic. What a great game. There's tons of puns in it too, and I love the aesthetic, how they went like this weird. Oh gosh, it's kind of jet setty. It looks aesthetic. It's great.
We're number 2, right?
Game's got a lot of people in the community too.
Number 2 on my list, Splatoon. So when I was looking to get a Wii U, this game was not on my radar until Kevin made me play it. I was like, this game's a fucking blast. Yeah. I have to buy this game. It's just fun to play.
Yeah, it is. Another thing I want to say that I think is genius that I don't have a problem with other shooters doing. I understand why they do it, but this is what got me about Splatoon. 3-minute rounds. It's long enough that you have fun and you feel victory when you win, but if you lose, you don't feel like you invested a whole lot of time, so you're not mad about it. So it's not like Call of Duty where you played for 15 minutes and then you lost by a few points and you're just like, oh, and you throw your controller.
Or it's not like League where you join a match and someone leaves immediately or gets DC'd and you have to wait 20 minutes to surrender.
Not anymore.
Used to.
Yeah, exactly. You play 3 minutes, you win, you feel good, you lose, you go, well, I'm just going to play another one because it's 3 minutes of my life. And you just, that system keeps you going. Yeah. You're just hooked.
It's a very addictive game. I like its aesthetic a lot. The ink is great. Like, it's just a fun game. Works really well. Kind of awkward to control at first, but you get used to it.
Yeah, and the motion controls on it aren't bad. Like, lots of people use the motion controls for that game, and I don't think I've ever said that about an optional motion control.
Yeah.
Like, you aim with the gamepad, and it's just a little quicker.
It's a little different, yeah. I really like that game. It's fun. Probably one of the games I've played most on my Wii U. Probably number 2.
Oh, it's definitely the game I've played the most of.
Good thing you put it as number 2.
Probably number 2.
My number 2, Super Smash Brothers.
Brother.
Not much else to add on top of what's already been said. A lot of modes, a lot of unlockables as per usual, but I don't know, this one just sort of, it felt better than the previous installment.
Obviously, it felt much better than the Wii one. The Wii one, God, I'm not pro, like, Smash, I think I play it casually.
Yeah.
I always think of it casual. I don't think of it as like a competitive fighting game. But the tripping annoyed me. I was like, why do they fall down when they run?
Sometimes you just fall down.
Nintendo's like, we put it in there so the game wouldn't be competitive. I'm like, you made it so the game's not fun.
You made it so I fall down. I'm like, why the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, just, I don't know. The character selection's great. Like you already mentioned, like the Fire Emblem characters, there's like 5 or 6 or something like that.
Should be
all
more.
feel different. They might have the same kind of core movesets, but they all have different
Dude
timings.
with a sword.
Have different
Dude with a
timings,
sword,
their
dude with
attacks, do different stuff at certain ranges. Like everyone's very like crisp and clean for the most part. Balance was a little off, but I think this one they've actually been patching.
Patched. Yeah.
Been patched,
Diddy
yeah.
Kong was way too good at first. They patched him. Then, Bayonetta, Cloud out of control.
Yeah.
They've been working on it.
So that's good because fighting games need that.
For you.
Yeah.
I
He
forgot
was-
to mention him in the crossover.
Yeah,
he
Ryu.
showed up. Jeez.
A fighter in a fighting game.
Yeah, this one felt really good. I don't know. Like a lot of people, when it comes to Switch talks, say, is this one gonna get up converted to Switch,
I
or
think
are they
we're
gonna
gonna
make
get
a
it.
new one? I think this one's good enough to last another
I
couple
think
of years.
we're gonna get a Switch version with 2 exclusive characters.
Yeah, like I
Just a
think
little
this one's
something,
good.
maybe
Like
a
if it
level.
was the Wii version, I was happy with them announcing a Wii U version. I was like, okay, get the Wii version out of here.
Yeah.
I liked playing it and all, but like,
It was fine,
but this one, a lot of the people that were in the Wii version got major boosts to like power and balance and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So that was really cool.
Some of them are completely different. Like Pitt, that's who I played on the Wii.
yeah,
They totally changed his movesets for
Yeah.
for this one. And Dark Pit, he's his own character, and
he's his own thing, yeah.
Palutena.
So I don't. It's at least second best Smash in my mind.
I think it's the best Smash.
I just
I think
don't-
people are delusional about Melee.
Melee are the hardcore fighting game
Yeah.
people, because that one is very. Even though they swear it's an accident that was so competitive, that one's number one for a lot of people.
Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
know people always love the original version of something, so the N64 version's always
Number
up there as
one.
well.
Oh my gosh,
I
that
love-
game's not even.
It's
I
at least
love
second
that-
best, if not first best.
I love that
so
I think it's the best.
that's
one.
saying something because Smash games are
All good.
good.
Or good. That game's
Are
fabulous.
we at number 1?
Yep.
Well,
I don't need to look at my phone for this one.
let me check. Okay.
Let me dish out my sad 10 points over here.
I figured that was okay.
Shovel Knight. I think Shovel Knight is the best game on the console. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about doing like a top 10 best games, like of whatever generation. And I'm like, man, Shovel Knight would be really high up there. And I just kept thinking about it. I'm like, well, what's the best like side scroller that's kind of? I'm like, yeah, Shovel Knight, and it was a Kickstarter success story. The free DLC that they add to it's insane. They're like, here's the whole game redone with a new character. And guess what? In a few months, you're getting the game again with a brand new character. But the reason I have it specifically on this list is the Wii U version is the best version of the game. It has its own amiibo, which is really cool. You
His
scan in,
amiibo, sweet.
you scan in the amiibo. It's got multiplayer mode. You can play through the game cooperatively, which is awesome. You can play a Smash style game where you're different knights and you're attacking each other and knocking each other off the stages and
That
things.
sounds like fun.
The game is infinitely replayable with all of its different armor. You can play it with the magic armor where you can't use like certain attacks, but you can play it with this one set of armor where your attacks are like triple damage, but your knockback is ×3. So if you get hit, you go flying. And like there's just tons of fun things that they put into the game. And the PS4 one has the Kratos cameo, which is cool. The Xbox one has Battletoads, which is cool. But the Wii U one has multiplayer, which is
Yeah, it has a lot of
which is
Yeah.
just
a lot of extras.
and
there.
also I would never play it like the Xbox. I can't do a side scroller because I use the D-pad to play that, and that wouldn't work on the Xbox. The Wii U is just the classic, crosshair D-pad, and the buttons are exactly how they should be for a platformer. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So best way to play Shovel Knight, probably.
Probably.
And you get the cool amiibo.
The little bit I know about Shovel Knight seems like the best version of it. So we're number 1.
Oh, yeah.
I guess we'll go with Tokyo Mirage.
Oh, I hate you so much.
We might as well just tag team this
No,
one.
yeah, go ahead.
Nick, what's your number 1?
Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Sharp.
FE.
FE.
I mean,
This game should not be on the Wii U. It should be a PS something, PS3, PS4 game.
Or
First off.
PC.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be gorgeous.
Very distinct
Went
from
through a
every other game on this list. Feels a lot like a PlayStation game or a Final Fantasy or something like that, where it's just like it's its own.
Got a little bit of Fire Emblem in there.
Yeah. This is like when it was first announced, I thought it was a cool concept. Hey, they're gonna smash together Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem. That sounds kind of cool.
That's neat.
But
How's it gonna work?
This was probably my favorite crossover. I mean, you can call Smash Brothers a crossover, yeah. But, I mean, you're not taking, like, game systems of...
It's fair to note that I've never played Fire Emblem going into this, and that may contribute to why I have it so much lower on my list.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
fair. And it might help that you played this game first, and now you're playing a Fire Emblem game a little bit, off and on. Yeah.
I don't know that you'll like it, but anyways.
And, I mean, have you played a Shin Megami Tensei game? Other than Persona spin-off. No. So, yeah, I mean, that's another
a little different
sort of system like that, too. Yeah, just like everything about this, I will note that I played the 100-hour version of the game, whereas maybe some people just kind of did the main stuff and passed on. Characters are pretty unique once you dive into them, do their side stuff.
They get better the more you get into them.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit to get them going, but they get a lot better as you go.
But yeah, that's its only downside to me, is that it's
on the Wii U.
It's hard to approach it. Wii U is not the most popular game console as far as, hey, do you play video games? Well, yeah, I play Call of Duty, I play Madden, I do, whatever. And most people, hey, do you care about like, Japanese characters? Do you like anime? Do you like, pop sort of like culture and stuff like that? And they're just like, what? What are you talking about? So it's a very hard game to approach for the casual person.
It's very specific.
And Nintendo,
not translated.
Not translated is a big one.
Yeah, that's hard to approach unless you're used to that kind of thing.
And I want to say it's 75% spoken dialogue with subtitles, and then there's a lot of not spoken parts that have the subtitles.
Yeah.
No localization, which is probably why it released when it did and not
now
TBA 2017 like some games. And it's another one that's very distinct from everything else. There's not another game even close to its like concept or even how it plays on the system.
Not on the Wii U anyways.
Like I said, it really belongs on the PS4.
I mean, it plays a lot like a Persona for obvious reasons.
It plays a lot like Persona. It's got the
excellent
kind
combat.
of dark themes to it that a Shin Megami game would have, and it's got a lot of the lightness but also like epic scale of a Fire Emblem game. And somehow they merged all of that with like a fun, bouncy, like pop.
Kind of goofy.
Yeah, there's a lot of wacky characters, just like any Japanese game.
Yeah.
Some of the girls are kind of,
out there.
ham-fisted in there, basically. And obviously we didn't get all the DLC, I guess, on the English version, so that's kind of a downside to it.
Yeah, we got the censored whatever version thing. The weirdest censorship I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, one of the weirdest censors I've ever seen, but that's fine.
But yeah, like the cinematic parts of the game, incredible. Like those cinematic scenes look amazing when it did like
the anime, the full anime.
The little anime,
they were great,
insane,
fabulous.
I like the pacing of the game too. It like very deliberately gave you action packed, and then it
lets you know a lot when you're near the end.
It called it an intermission. Like literally, hey, this is the part where you can hang out with your friends if you want to go talk to them, learn more about the characters.
Go here.
Go
story will pick up again.
Yeah. So that's one of the few games, at least in like the past decade, if not more. I know older games used to do that, like very deliberate pace, but most games now, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, like, it's very act-based. They just come at you. This one's just like, cut, hey, take a break. Here's some of the fun stuff. Here's some of the silly stuff. Go do that. Come back. Now we're in the dark. Oh, I hate my life. My parents, blah, 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 or my sibling, or blah, This is a very dark story. in the game, but it's sprinkled with so much glitter and glam and pop stuff that you're just like, oh, I'm not depressed.
Really are.
But yeah, that on top of, obviously the game is built around a pop industry or like a showbiz kind of agency. Music is real good.
She's just a talent agent, yeah.
I imported the shit out of that CD for this game.
Yeah.
And love it. It's amazing. Not much else to say. I mean, the best part about it to me is that I know way more about Fire Emblem than Shin Megami. But as far as like little things like your personas or mirages being old Fire Emblem characters that they sort of brought back in a whole new light.
Very cool.
They didn't know they were Fire Emblem characters, basically, is kind of how the story is presented. But it's cool to see them interact. You get some big names dropped in there from Fire Emblem. That's cool. And the whole progression through leveling yourself up. So I'm going to have skills that make me do this faster or hit harder or, whatever, or extra abilities to make the group better. But also, I'm going to level up the weapon that I have.
That was my favorite mechanic probably.
The weapon leveling.
That and then just the combat sessions.
Yeah.
How you can
tagging the sessions together.
This attack has whatever fire, and this guy has fire sword, and this guy has sword lance, and then they all would chain together every time you do one of those attacks, and it got to the point where you could have everybody on your team jumping into attack. That was awesome.
Like literally people that aren't in your main 3-person squad.
Every people other just jumping out from nowhere attacking.
Where
and
did you come from?
And then I forget what they call them now because I've been out of the game for a month, but when the two people, when it pops up and you can hit the button to either have the session with these two people or these two people, and it went... Like it would take basically there's one enemy and there's 3 team members fighting it. It should take 10 seconds. That fight takes 10 minutes because all the sessions they get chained together. There's a big cutscene in the middle.
They're dancing. They're singing.
You get to watch them dance.
There's a music video.
And then there's another chain that happens
and then they
after
recession.
that.
No, it's great. We have a whole podcast topic episode that's like why you should play Tokyo Mirage Sessions or secretly the WiiU's best game, something like that. We have a whole thing. We talk about it like
for
enthusiasm.
a while.
It's a very good game.
That's what sucks is that Nintendo's never gonna do anything else with this game. I mean,
it's very similar to Fatal Frame. It's like, well, that was cool. I'm glad they didn't
support it.
Push it.
No one will ever hear about this game 2017 and on.
Yeah. It's going to be, I think it's going to be one of the must-play games that's going to be hard to find later.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me in years' time for this to be $100 game or something like that.
Overlooked.
No, I agree. It'll be like Xenoblade.
Yeah. And like I said, some of those features take it from, 30-hour game, 40-hour game to actually complete it. But hey, I want to learn more about this character. I want to do this. I want to level up my weapon, something like that. Oh, it's a 100-hour game now. So it's a little bit choose your own path sort of deal.
24-hour game.
Yeah.
24?
I think so.
Amazing.
How did you even finish it?
I only leveled up the character.
I thought I did it.
And I only played as her.
I thought I did it fast, and I did it in like 60 or 65.
No, I think I did it in 24, around there. Anyway, we have our official kind of rankings. We need 2, 3 tiebreakers broken.
Okay.
So first tiebreaker: Xenoblade versus Smash Brothers.
Oh, we're starting with the heavy hitters
and
first.
We're just gonna. We have 3 people. We're gonna break this tie. So I'm gonna vote Smash Brothers.
Xenoblade.
Okay.
If there weren't 3 other Smash games, I don't know.
It's fair.
I didn't love that Xenoblade game.
Mario Kart Pokken. Mario Kart.
It's actually a tough one.
No, it's not.
I mean, I quite like Pokken.
I actually really like our list, though, when we do the final.
I would put Pokken above that.
Above Mario Kart?
Because it's not the best Mario Kart. Yeah. Actually, I did put Pokken above that.
Pretty
so,
sure
yeah, I mean, to stick with what I did,
pretty sure I did, too.
And then last one, Shovel Knight Hyrule Warriors. I picked Shovel Knight.
Hyrule. I didn't even put Shovel Knight in my top 10, so.
I mean, I guess it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing what we would
I mean, this is
suggest.
a very fair argument.
Yeah.
I got nothing against Shovel Knight. But
So we've got the official Press X Wii U list. I think that this is actually a very solid list.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10, Shovel Knight. Number 9, Hyrule Warriors. Number 8, Mario Kart 8. Number 7, Pokken. Number 6, Mario Maker. Number 5, Smash Brothers. Number 4, Xenoblade Chronicles. Number 3, Bayonetta 2. Number 2, Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE. And number 1, Splatoon. That is a solid list.
I'm fine with that.
If I have ever seen one.
Whatever.
You're
we
mad that-
know what the best game is.
What do we lose?
Well, Tokyo Mirage didn't come in until the end.
We missed it by a point.
Huh? Yes, it was by 1 point.
He and I gave it 20 points.
Yeah, I was looking. I was like 23, 20. Damn.
I actually jumped Tokyo Mirage up 2 on my list when we sat down because I had to cross one off for so.
It's the only one.
It would have been.
As
I mean, I got no problems with that because I had a tough choice with those or Splatoon first or second.
Yeah.
That's definitely my two
honestly,
favorite games.
that's the only game on my top 10 that I've even considered for a game of the year during its year that it was
I love
released.
Splatoon.
during
but
its reign.
This
my real problem with Tokyo Mirage Sessions is it's just so hard to be like, you need to play this game.
That's what I said. It's
There-
the worst
there's-
part about it is how hard it is to approach it.
Yeah.
There's
it's
questions
hard.
you got to ask before you can tell somebody to play it.
Yeah.
Like, do you care about
Yeah,
Japanese
like,
culture
I-
whatsoever?
I need
Yeah.
to bring a checklist. Like, can you mark maybe 5 of these 10 things?
And even then, you're like, ooh, I still
Maybe you
don't know.
should try it.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's our official top 10 Wii U list. I like that. We're going to do this again for some other consoles. I think this is a great thing to do, especially for consoles that are finished for the most part. I think you can probably throw Zelda on the new Zelda will probably be on the list, and I assume knock off Shovel Knight. It would be my assumption. But as far as it goes, the Wii is pretty much done. I kind of like the idea of doing this for consoles that have finished, so maybe we'll do that in the future. But thank you for being here, Kellen.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Nick.
Uh-huh.
And thank you guys so much for watching. We'll speak with you next time.
Pokemon time.
Yeah. Kevin McManus, and this is just a train wreck. With me, a player 2, we have Kellen Williard.